Grand Risings. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're feeling strong and empowered and capable and you're finding reasons to smile. Even through the strife. I attempted to make this video yesterday dawning, and there were some tech issues, there were some external factors that made the video quite difficult to make. There was lots of interruptions, and but I was really enjoying the subject that I was talking about, so I'm going to try again. I just hope that I managed to get the point across as well as I did yesterday. So today I'm sitting here in this space. Normally I'm sitting where you're sitting and the camera is usually here. You're usually sitting here. But yesterday dawning, I decided to sit in this space because the moon was still up. The moon was over here and I wanted to look at the full moon and I wanted to have a bit of a different view. And I normally sit over on that side where you're sitting because over here in this little space there over there is where the sun comes up at this time of year. So if I sit where you're sitting, I can see the sunrise and the beautiful colours through all the branches and it looks really pretty. But yeah, as I said, the full moon was still up yesterday dawning, and so I sat in a different space. And it made me think about changing of perspective, which I thought, you know, usually I like to sit in the same space and I like to see the way that the light changes throughout the year, and how you feel and think can sometimes change what you're looking at. And it made me think about a conversation I'd had with my daughter. So it's kind of along the same themes as the other day, my other video about some of the wisdom that my children have gifted me, and seeing my own thought processes reflected in them. I tend to not talk too much about the realizations that I have with them because of the nature of the way that their brain works, and they're teenagers. So if I say it, they'll roll their eyes. You can almost hear it going. And I find that they're less likely to take those ideas on if I have said them, which is fine. That's, you know, it's not a problem. That's just the way, you know, kids and parents work and teenagers work, and that's okay. So I tend to take a step back and I have my own realizations and my own thoughts and my own feelings, and I sit with them. And as I said in my last video, I'm starting to see them come to the same realizations and the same conclusions about life and thoughts and feelings and purpose of being, all on their own, which is amazing. It's making me very, very happy. And so the sitting in the different space, the change of perspective and looking, I don't like to tend to sit here because I can just see people's houses. There are a few trees, but it's not as pretty as this backdrop. So I was thinking about the change of perspective and a conversation that me and my daughter had the other day. And she's had a new tattoo. And somebody said to her, "Oh, aren't you going to regret having all of those tattoos?" And she handled it a lot better than I would have done at her age. Like, I would have been it's a kitty wake carrying the biggest piece of bread or something, food. Anyway, distractions. Yeah, she handled it way better than I would have done at her age. I'd have been like, who the fuck do you think you are, fucking telling me what I will and won't regret and blah blah blah. I would have probably got quite defensive, and I probably would have been quite angry and felt the need to defend my decisions. And really, we don't ever have to defend our decisions to anybody. We only have to justify ourselves to ourselves. And she turned around and said, well, no, not really. You only really regret the things you haven't done. And she was telling me about this. Again, this is a conclusion and a realisation I've already come to myself, but I haven't spoken about this to my children because, again, eye rolls. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate, to be fair. I said, you know, if you do something and you don't like it, or it's not for you, and you realise that was a mistake, then it's a lesson. It's a lesson. It's not a regret. It's a lesson. It's like, oh, don't do that again. And obviously it only becomes a regret if you continue to make the same mistake and continue to do the thing that you don't like, or that doesn't suit you, or isn't right for you. That's when it becomes a regret, or maybe just a reinforced lesson. And so I quite enjoyed that conversation. And I was sitting here looking at the moon yesterday, and I was thinking about how we can reframe things, and how we can, you know, that person thinks about regrets as like the things that you've done, and my daughter is thinking about the things that, well, if I haven't done it, then it's a regret. And how we reframe things. And so all of the things that I was thinking about were like past experiences where I have been scared to do something new, or it's been something that I've not done before, or like maybe a narrative that I've had in my head that's somebody else's narrative. It's not even my narrative. It's like society's, or schools, or parental, or, you know, ex-partners, or just other people, usually negative Nellies that, you know, always have something negative to say, never something positive. So the amount of times in my head I've had somebody else's narrative going, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, oh, it's going to be like this, and oh, you know, what if it goes wrong, and some of the things that I've done where I've pushed past that narrative, I've pushed through it, and I've gone, well, I'm going to do it anyway, I'm going to do it, fuck it. And one of the things that really helped me to do that was this reframing tool, where it's somebody that I was listening to a podcast on a couple of years ago was saying, think about how our body reacts to fear. If you think about how it reacts and responds, and all the different symptoms, if you will, the physical symptoms, you know, your heart starts racing, your stomach gets a bit knotty, and your palms might get sweaty, and you might get hot, and your face might get red, and you might get a bit lightheaded. But then think about how it feels to be excited. How does it feel to be excited? Your heart starts racing, your stomach might get a bit knotty, and your palms might sweat, and you might feel a bit hot, and, you know, you might get a bit giddy. And it really helped me to reframe that. So it's like, I started to say that to myself, like whenever I would hear somebody else's narrative in my head, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that, oh, it's going to go really badly wrong, or but what if this happens, what if that happens, I would be like, I'm not scared, I'm excited. And I thought about all the times that I've used that narrative for myself to almost cheerlead myself, because quite often in life we are surrounded by people that do that, like, oh, what do you want to do that for? Oh, really? Oh, why? And question you, like, why not? Why not? Because I want to, because I'd really like to do it, and because I've never done it before. And it was something simple as like getting up on stage and reading my poetry. Not my the poetry that I'd written. And that had such a knock-on effect to like other things, and opened up other avenues for me. Like, you know, writing music, learning instruments, getting on stage, performing, you know, making videos, this YouTube channel. If I hadn't have originally got up on stage and written that poetry, I, you know, might not have gotten up on stage and performed music, and then I wouldn't have thought about making a YouTube channel, And then because of the YouTube channel, I discovered my love and passion for editing videos and making videos. And I don't, you know, necessarily I don't make them because it's like, oh, I want to make something that everybody's going to like, or it's going to go viral, or, you know, it's going to get me loads of subscribers. I make it for the love of making it. I make it because it makes my heart sing, because when I've done it, I feel like I've honoured my creation. When I got up on stage and read the poetry that I'd written, it felt like I, myself, was honouring my creation, and it didn't matter if nobody liked it, it didn't matter if it went wrong, it didn't matter if, you know, nobody got it. Like, I had honoured it, I had given it a space, I had gone, look at you, aren't you beautiful, there you go. And you know, whether that's learning a new skill, or learning to fucking crochet, or writing that book that you want to write, or learning that instrument that you want to learn, or I don't know, going camping or riding a bike. Like, it doesn't have to be a big life-changing thing that's going to change the world. You know, you don't have to do that thing because you're going to make a career out of it, or because it's going to get you a gazillion followers, or because you're going to go viral, or, you know, because you're going to be the world's, you know, top guitarist or whatever. Oh, there's so many things. You know, you don't have to do something just because it's going to make you famous, and you don't have to not do it because you're not going to achieve that thing that, you know, somebody else has achieved through it. It doesn't have to be like that. It just has to be something that makes your heart sing. It just has to be something that fills you with joy and reminds you why you're alive. And makes you happy, and it makes you do this, and you know, just something that makes your heart sing, something that you've never done before. And sometimes those things, yeah, you might be like, oh, do you know what, that wasn't for me, I didn't really enjoy that. But that breaking that cycle, that narrative, that programming in your brain of like, oh, I shouldn't do that, you did it, right? You did that thing, yeah, it wasn't for you. The next time that you come to something that you want to do, it'll be like, oh, well, it wasn't so bad, I did that thing, and yeah, it wasn't for me, but then I knew not to do it again. So it will like reinforce that idea. Oh, well, you know, it wasn't so bad last time I did something that I'd not done before, so yeah, go on then. And that might be the thing that opens up so many avenues for you. And like, one of the things that I did in February was I went to Egypt with my triplets for their 18th. And I decided I was going to do all these things that I'd never done before. Like, if somebody said, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I was going to go, yes, I'll do that. I'll do that thing. Yes, fuck it. I'm going to do it. And one of the things that my daughter wanted to do was she wanted to go quad biking across the desert. Now, for anybody that knows me, I don't drive, I don't do vehicles, they're not my comfortable space. I don't really work very well with tech. And I'm quite clumsy with anything that is not myself. Like my body, great. But anything that's external to my body, And so I was like, yeah, go on then. Let's do it. Let's go quad biking across the desert. And oh my God, I had like the best day ever. And I'm not going to get into the whole experience that I had, but I had one of the most enlightening experiences of my life on that quad bike across that desert. And beforehand, I was like, oh my God, you know, what if I tip it over? What if I can't steer it? What if it explodes? Right. And every time that narrative came into my brain and I felt fear, I was like, no, I'm excited. I'm excited. And it was exhilarating. It was so exciting. I had one of the best experiences of my life doing that. And it was, you know, it was this thing. Like, how many people ride quad bikes every single day? And it's like nothing to them to get on a quad bike. It's nothing. They just get on a quad bike, they hop around, they do their thing, blah, 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 blah. for me, it was like this huge thing. It was a massive thing to me, and it made me so happy. And so when, you know, when we have these little thoughts of like, oh, I've never done that before. Oh, well, there's no point. Because of, I don't know, because it's not a big thing. I don't know, like riding a bike, going camping. So many people have done those things and they're like big enthusiasts and it's second nature to them. But to you, it's this big thing, and it might seem a bit silly, and it's not. Like, do it, do the thing. It doesn't have to be because it's going to make a massive impact on the world, and that's a very narrow view anyway, because like, say for instance, writing a book, right, or writing a song. Okay, you might not be the next best #1 seller of books. I'm sure there's a charts for books, I'm not sure. You know, and you might not like get 1 million subscribers or followers or whatever they're called on the socials and have like a #1 selling record. It doesn't have to be for that reason. Your impact is not necessarily here. When you drop a pebble into a pond and there's ripples. So you might drop a pebble into a pond, you might write that book, you might get on a bicycle, right? And feel so happy and joyful at riding that bike because it's such a big thing to you. You're not just getting on it because you got to go to work, and you're getting on it like because you got no other option. You're getting on it because you've never done it before and it's really exciting. You might cycle down the street and someone sees your absolute authentic joy at riding that bicycle and they might go, oh, do you know what? I want to ride a bike. I want to get on a bike and feel like that. Or it might remind them, oh, I've got that bike in the shed that I've not used for over a year. Do you know what? I'm gonna get my bike out. I'm gonna have a bike ride. And that might inspire them to do something that they've not done for a while or never done before. And they might go and do something that changes the world. Okay, you might write that book. If only one person reads that fucking book and that book changes that one person's life or inspires them to write a book, and then they go and write a book that changes the world, like, because you wrote that book. And no, you didn't sell millions of copies, and it you know, didn't reach a massive audience. It doesn't matter. The fact that you did something that filled your heart with joy, that made you so happy and excited about being alive, about experiencing each day, is all that matters. That's all it is. That's all you have to do. It's just tiny little joys in life. Oh, I met a woman once that said, why do the little joys have to be little? Why can't they be big? You know? And that was a beautiful saying, very beautiful saying. And so, like, I wanted to encourage people to do that thing, to get out there and do that thing, reframe it. We only regret things that we haven't done. Is the little nugget of wisdom from my children, hey, that I've had this week. Hey, baby. Hi. Oh, it's more interesting when the foxes have been. Where was I? I got distracted. Yeah, do the things. Just do the things. Like, it doesn't have to be a big thing. Like, I would really like to learn a new instrument next year. That's what I would like to do. So there you go. There's a thing, and I'm probably not going to be the best at it. I'm probably not going to, you know, perform on some massive stage, like, and be at the top of my game for that whatever instrument it turns out to be. But I will be doing it because it makes me happy. I wanted to crochet some socks, right? I've never crocheted socks, and I've tried 2, maybe 3 times to crochet socks, and it never went quite right. And this time I was like, right, I'm gonna make this achievable. So I found the easiest sock pattern to make socks. right? And yeah, they're not like very well fitted, but I crocheted some socks. There you go, I did it. I did the thing. And I can wear those socks and I can look at those socks and go, I made those. I did that. Yes. And it's a tiny, tiny thing. It's a tiny, tiny thing. And there was a point where I was sat on the bus and I really, really wanted to get them finished. So I took my crocheting with me and I just sat on the bus and I finished crocheting my sock. It did actually make me feel a little bit sick because of the motion sicknessing. But yeah, I might not be the world's #1 crocheter, if that's a word. But I might have inspired somebody else to crochet. And not because I went out and about specifically to inspire somebody to crochet, but because I was like in this narrow frame of mind of like wanting to, what's the word I'm looking for? Hyper-focusing. I was hyper-focusing on these fucking socks. Like, I want to get these socks finished. I want to make these socks. And so I was just like, and it wasn't because I had to, and it wasn't because it was a job, and it wasn't because it was, you know, super important, but I was doing it because I really wanted to. And that would have been the energy that I would have been sat in. You know? And so, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? What are the tiny things that you want to do? Or the big things, you know? Write that book, write that poem, learn that instrument, learn to juggle, go camping, go on a hike. You know, it might be that you've never been on a holiday on your own. So many people have not just been on holiday on their own. And that's quite a scary concept for some people to go away on their own. Oh, it's the best thing ever, honestly. It's the best thing ever. Like, you can just do what you want. You don't have to be in somebody else's schedule. It doesn't have to be scary. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Go do it. You know, if it's painting a painting, doesn't have to be hanging up in an art gallery, doesn't have to be sold for thousands of pounds or matter to anybody. Do you know what? You don't even have to have somebody say, well done, that's good, that's amazing, that's awesome. Doesn't have to be for that reason. You don't need to have someone externally validate your experience. You can make that picture and you can hang it in your bedroom, so you can always look at it and go, I made that, I did that. You know? And if one person comes in and goes, oh, that's cool, like, the right person will come in, and when you speak about it, I can guarantee you, you will probably emanate a frequency of joy that you probably aren't even aware of when you talk about your creation, your thing that you've done, your experience, the walk that you went on. You know, it might just crop up in conversation one day, or it might, you know, and when you speak about it, there will be a frequency of joy, of authentic, unashamed joy that you speak about your thing, like, in, and that will have an impact on somebody. That will have an impact, and it will inspire them to go, oh, yeah, do you know what? I want a piece of that. And so I'm really excited to hear about the things that you would like to do. Like, drop in the comments. What's that thing? Something silly. It could be really silly. Genuinely silly. Like making your own dress. I don't know. Climbing a mountain. Doesn't have to be for any other reason other than the fact that you want to do it. Might have a knock-on effect. You might find something that you're really fucking good at. You know? And so that was the point of my video today. Another beautiful little nugget of wisdom. We only regret the things that we didn't do. So do them, you know, do them, do those things. Be your own cheerleader. Because you will find people that go, oh, why do you want to do that for? Why not? Why not? Do it. Enjoy life, experience, do those things. And if you don't like them, it was a lesson. There you go. I won't do that again. I won't do that again. And there you go, there was your lesson. So, yeah. I hope you have a great day. Oh, I went all white. Hope you have a great day. I hope this inspires you to go out there and do that thing that you've never done before, and to reframe that physical experience of like, maybe I shouldn't do that, or yeah, well, there's no point. Do it. Why not? Like, if life isn't for living and experiencing and doing and being, what's the fucking point? Like, if you're not trying new things, if you're not trying new, it might just be something as simple as trying new foods, you know? Okay, it might taste like shit, but at least you can say you've tried it. How do you know if you've never tried it? You know? Do that thing that makes you happy. Fill your heart with joy. Be brave. Be courageous. Do those things. And that's that. I am really looking forward to the live meditation on Saturday, on solstice. That should be nice and fun, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing the energetic space with you. I will do the thing, the pre-thing, the setup of the thing. I'll do the thing. So yeah, if you'd like to join me, even if it's just for 5 minutes, to bring in, you know, the returning of the light, dawning praises, nice, gentle, quiet space to just be with the birds and be with Gaia and life, existence. I'm so very excited to bring in the light and the warmth, and to welcome back the sun, and yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Listening to the magpie, sorry. Not sorry. And I think that's it. That's it for today. Do that thing that you really want to do. We only regret the things that we didn't do, so go out there and fucking do them. And if nobody has told you, I support you. Get out there, do those things. You are braver than you know. You're not scared, you're excited. And I hope you have an amazing day. Find something to smile about, find something to bring you joy. I love you so very much. And I look forward to hearing about all the things that you want to do, and all the things that you have done that felt scary and you did them. Please, you know, it would make my heart so full of joy to hear about all these experiences that you've had. Mwah. Keep being you.